Welcome back. Bob Radcliff asked we could take a closer look at this old Winchester. Let's check it out. I'm going to take advantage of the natural light out here and try not to cast too many shadows on this, but this is it's a post 64 Winchester model 670. Get that turn around here. 30-06. It came with a rear sight, and I had a sight hood until last year when my son used it. But it's a push feed gun. I think it's just American walnut, but I had stripped it and stained it more of a little bit more red, and then doesn't have much figure in the stock, but it's a basic gun. It's kind of like the I guess the Ruger American of the time. Had a rear sight that was mounted here, and I made these bases and I used the QR loophole QR mounts, or used the rings, and I made the bases to get this scope mounted forward, so I can carry this gun at the balance point, and it's quicker sighting arrangement for some of the stuff I do in heavy cover deer hunting. I'm not going to take it off, but they did repeat when I checked them back in the day. You rotate these levers back 180 degrees, and the scope and the rings lift off. Each one has a pin and then a groove that go across. It's a push feed, but it's 3-position safety. 3-position safety, 4 down and 1 in the chamber. It for most of what we hunt, push feed's just fine. I like to be able to swap my ammo out if I decide to shoot some squirrels while I'm out there, or have an opportunity to shoot a coyote and I don't want to make too much noise. I don't have them on here right now, but I typically carry some one thing I don't like about this, it's not easy to grab, but I carry some low power loads. I have these low power loads with about 5 or 6 grains of red dot and 165 grain flat point cast, and it comes out of here about 950 feet per second, and it'll go through 3 aspen trees about that big diameter, and seems to even track pretty straight while it's doing it, so nothing to sneeze at. The barrel's listed as 22 inch, but I just measured it. It's more like 21 7/8 or something like that. Make sure I'm in the frame here still. What else can I say about it? It's not a lightweight gun. It's picking up right now. I don't know what it weighs, but it's not super heavy, but it's got a hard plastic butt plate. It's never bothered me. I don't know if I'm kind of insensitive to recoil, but I know something like that on a 30-06 is getting to be too much for people. I honestly don't notice it. I've got this carrier, and I put some foam in it, and then I check it periodically to make sure I still have my desired cheek weld in sight alignment. When I bring it up to my shoulder and I mount the gun and get my cheek weld with my eyes closed, when I open my eyes I should have a perfect sight picture, and the last time I checked I do, and if I didn't, it's a simple matter of putting something in here to bring it back up. The if you're familiar with Model 70 triggers, it's basically it's a field grade Model 70 is what it is. But if you're familiar with the triggers, they have two nuts on them. One to lock, one to set, one to lock, and a screw for over travel. So it's fully adjustable, but it's I guess if you're not familiar with what you're doing, it's probably best left to a gunsmith. I set this one at about 2.5 pounds. When it breaks, it really doesn't have any over travel. Very light, very crisp. It does not like to feed long round nose bullets. I've noticed with 180 grain, they tend to hit the back of the barrel, and it doesn't have a cone. It doesn't have a cone tube breech, so you see how it's flat across the front of the bolt. The bolt releases here. Push it down. Plunger ejector, and then I do once in a while. I'll have usually a low powered round that the extractor doesn't grab the first time, either because the headspace on the cartridge, the brass itself, has gotten a little excessive, or the rim is maybe a little bit, well, it doesn't pick it up the first time, but usually on the second time, open it, rechamber, and it'll grab it and pull it out. Those low-powered rounds don't have a lot of bolt thrust, so they don't tend to plant the case head against the breech face. It doesn't. That's never been a problem with full-powered ammo. Let's see if I can. I'll take this apart. Setting the safety in the middle position allows you to depress this release and then rotate the firing and the striker mechanism out of the gun, or out of the bolt, I should say, and kind of uses a keeper arrangement like a valve stem in an engine, and you can you release the pressure on this. If I push this forward right now, the striker will go forward and take some pressure off, and then I could take grab this spring and pull it back, pull this one keeper out, and then the other is like a kind of like a washer spacer. It comes off the front, and I could change the spring. This is a newer spring. It's not new, but it's a newer spring that I picked up maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. But, ball handle's plain, not checkered or anything. And I have typically I took it off this year because I got a 338 that I'm going to bear hunt, but I have the one nice sling, and it's a military style leather sling with the locking swivels that I keep on this gun. And then I have and then I also I'll tie them, and I'll show that in another video when I look at that setup for the sling. But I have this because I use this aloft. I use this in the in a stand or a saddle or whatever quite often. So I have a kind of a lanyard that goes over my shoulder. It allows me to use the gun ambidextrous, and without too much trouble, but I can't drop the gun. I used to tie it to my stand, and I would put a kind of a girth hitch around here behind the swivel stud inside the sling with just a bowline and a girth hitch. But these you can't buy them anywhere. I made them, but these the two screws take advantage of the front base screws, and then cantilevered forward, so I cleared the port. And then the front one was the sight base had two screws. I think one is, I got wax in here, so if you wonder what this gunk is, but I don't know if you can see this here, but there's a screw there, and then there's a screw underneath the stud underneath here that hold this base. And then what I did was when I set up my scopes on my personal weapons, I take a piece of 01 and I clamp the spacing. I clamp that 01 in the rings, and then my camera overheated, so I'm gonna have to finish this up. But the way I made these and the way I fitted them with a drill rod to simulate the scope body, I could show if anyone's interested in another video. I still have that tooling, but essentially that's it. It's a plain gun. It's probably a better made plain field grade gun than is available in this day and age. I bought this used in 1986, I think, 85 or 86. But anyway, hope that answers your questions, and thanks to Bob for asking about it, and thanks for stopping by.